Narito ang mga pangunahing balita sa loob at labas ng bansa. Tinagid at kinalap ng Agila News Team. Agila Balita.
Narito ang balita para sa linggong ito. Sa Montreal, Iglesia ni Cristo tumutulong sa paglaban sa isyu ng kahirapan. Sa Ottawa, patuloy ang lingap sa mamamayan ng Iglesia ni Cristo. Filipino developers pinakilala ang indie game sa PAX East sa Boston. Musical na On This Side of the World, ikinuwento ang pakikibaka at pagwawagi ng Asian Americans sa Amerika. At sa pagtatapos ng National Heritage Month, nagdiwang ang Centro Rizal, Washington, D.C. sa pamamagitan ng tugtuging katutubo.
Agila
Magandang araw. Ako si Myla Simbulan at ito ang Agila Balita, Washington, D.C.
Agila Balita.
Sa Montreal, Canada, patuloy ang pagtulong ng Iglesia ni Cristo sa paglaban sa isyu ng kahirapan. Kamakailan na mahagi ng care packages at cash donations doon ang Iglesia sa pakikipagtulungan ng Felix Y. Manalo Foundation. Narito ang mga detalye mula kay Andre Lajoie.
Montreal is a vibrant, multicultural, historical city in Quebec, and it is Canada's second largest city. However, despite this, poverty is evident on the street. According to 2018 survey of Montreal homeless population, it is estimated there are more than 3,000 people living as homeless in Montreal, a slight increase from 8 to 12% from 2015.
The survey includes people living in transition housing, emergency shelters, mixed emergency, outside places, women that are victims of violence, detention centers, or hospital centers. The new data helps the City of Montreal to discern the services and social programs targeted to populations. Meanwhile, the city has developed a Montreal action plan to end homelessness in 2018 to 2020. According to the city, it's aimed to meet the needs of people who are homeless, whether they need help in the public spaces, emergency shelters, resource or centers, or social professional integration measures. However, it is not only the city that has concerns about poverty and homelessness in Montreal. Community organizations are trying to address this concern as well.
Ici à Montréal aujourd'hui, l'Église du Christ tient son Canada à l'échelle mondiale pour l'aide humanité.
Today is a very special day for all Canadians. On behalf of the Iglesia ni Cristo, the Church of Christ, I want to greet everyone a happy Victoria Day. But this is also a special day for the members of the Church of Christ because today we're continuing the project of the Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, which is based on, as Ka Eduardo always teaches us from the Bible, Proverbs chapter 3, verse 27, where it is taught to us, whenever possible, help those who are in need. Aid to humanity is to help the less fortunate, those who are struggling through life. And what the Church of Christ does is it goes to different cities, not only in Canada, but really throughout the world.
And we're so happy to be a part of this major activity throughout the entire Canada, because this Aid to Humanity activity has started in Winnipeg, and now we're conducting it here in Montreal, and tomorrow we'll be doing this in Ottawa.
So we conducted various meetings to the committees that we have organized, and we have prepared so many things, not only to share with the needy people, but to entertain them through a brief program. Now, part of the preparations that we've made, we've prepared 1,000 care packages to the recipients. And in that package, we put in personal hygiene items, food items, in order that through that simple way we could help the needy people in their basic needs. Shelters, one of it's an orphanage, and the FYM Foundation prepared a worth 1,000 donation to each shelter and the orphanage in order that we'll be able to help them in their present needs or probably for their present projects.
Bonjour, moi je suis directrice des événements pour la Fondation de l'Hôpital de Montréal pour enfants. Aujourd'hui, on a eu l'heureuse surprise d'apprendre que la Fondation de Félix Manalo nous offrait un chèque, alors on est très excités. L'argent qui est recueilli aujourd'hui va aller pour subvenir aux besoins immédiats des plus urgents à la Fondation, à l'hôpital, des besoins qui ne sont pas couverts par le gouvernement, qui sont immédiats, donc peut-être qu'un enfant a besoin d'un service quelconque, et puis c'est là où l'argent va aller.
On est ici à notre organisation pour recevoir un chèque qui va aider pour nos services. Bien, je veux dire, la mission de Bury dessert plus de 300 personnes à travers les programmes de réinsertion sociale. Aussi, dans la communauté, on réinsère des gens dans les appartements. On aide aussi avec... on a un programme de santé mentale. On aide aussi des personnes qui ont été dans l'itinérance chronique. On aide dans la communauté à l'extérieur. On a des projets à l'extérieur aussi. On va voir les gens dans la rue pour les inviter à venir à la mission de Bury pour avoir des services.
Alors, nous avons été invités pour recevoir un chèque de la part de l'Église parce que nous, on travaille directement sur la rue avec les sans-abri. Puis, ma patronne a aussi aidé à organiser ça avec une des représentantes de l'Église. Moi, ça fait 3 ans en tant que salarié, mais avant ça, j'ai fait 7 ans de bénévolat à 400-500 heures par année. Donc, ça fait 3 ans que je me promène un peu là, dans l'organisme. Je chausse un peu toutes les chaussures.
Well, we serve very disadvantaged people in the neighborhood and surrounding areas. We have a food bank every week. We serve about 15,000 free lunches every year. But more than that, we provide a community. It's like a big family.
So what did you like about the afternoon?
Well, the people were just so amazingly friendly and warm and smiling and generous, and the event was very uplifting, and I'm very happy we came.
Reportage de l'humanité ici à Montréal. Je suis André Lajoie. Je suis un avec 25.
Salamat, Andre. Susunod sa Ottawa, patuloy ang lingap sa mamamayan. Diyan lamang kayo, magbabalik ang Agila Balita, Washington, D.C.
Agila Balita. Iba't ibang di pangkaraniwang pangyayari ang nagaganap sa ating komunidad sa buong bansa at magiging sa iba't ibang panig ng daigdig.
Mga pangyayaring nagpapakilo sa damdamin, nagsisilbing inspirasyon at nakakaapekto sa mga mamamayan.
Sa mata ng Agila, patuloy kaming maghahatid ng tunay, patas at balanse mga balita na walang ibang motibo kundi serbisyo publiko.
Subaybayan ang mga hatid naming balita sa Eagle News PH Facebook at Twitter pages.
At sa Eagle News Live YouTube channel.
At sa aming website, ang eaglenews.ph.
Mata ng Agila! Lunes hanggang Biyernes, alas 6 hanggang alas 7:30 ng gabi.
Agila Balita, Lunes hanggang Biyernes, alas 7:30 hanggang alas 8 ng umaga.
Agila Balita.
Kayo ay nanonood pa rin ng Agila Balita, Washington, D.C. Ako si Miles Simbulan. Balitang lingap sa mamamayan pa rin. Sa Ottawa naman, patuloy-tuloy ang ganitong mga pagtulong na Iglesia ni Cristo sa komunidad. Narito naman ang ulat ni Sabir Mufti.
Ottawa, the nation's capital, home to the Parliament Hill where the federal government sits, a booming high-tech industry, and some of the country's greatest museums, is considered as one of the best quality of life cities in the world, based on Business Insider's survey in 2016. Given all the wonderful attributes the city holds, it is still not immune to poverty. In fact, based on the 2016 Statistics Canada Census Family Low Income Measure, there were 135,000 people living in poverty, and 33,480 of them were children. Here at the Horticultural Building in Lansdowne Park in Ottawa, members of the Church of Christ have prepared hundreds of care packages that will be handed out to many in the community. Some who have been dealing with difficult times due to the past flooding that hit both Ottawa and Gatineau, others struggling with unemployment, and many trying to keep up with today's societal pressures.
Today, this is the first time ever in Canada wherein through the Felix Y. Manalo Foundation, the humanitarian arm of the Church of Christ or the Iglesia ni Cristo, we are currently holding series of Aid for Humanity projects in the main or major cities here in Canada. Well, through this Aid for Humanity projects, through the leadership of the Executive Minister of the Iglesia ni Cristo, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, we continuously give monetary assistance to shelters, centers, and foundations who also assist people who are challenged by the many things that they encounter like poverty and difficulties. And also, we are giving parcels of food, care packages, for somehow we could be able to assist those who are in need. And now here in Ottawa, we are currently conducting this cause and this aid for the benefit of those people. After these events, we will go to Toronto, in Edmonton, and in Vancouver. First time, it is a whole week project of the Church of Christ through the Felix Y. Manalo Foundation to aid people countrywide in this part of the world.
Well, I want to thank the Church of Christ very much for their generosity of putting together, I think, 500 packages of food, hygiene products, and the like to help those less fortunate. It's a sign of a great Christian, great member of society that you give back to others.
The Felix Y. Manalo Foundation, a non-stock, non-political organization, has prepared several checks that will be given out to invited organizations such as the Ottawa Food Bank, Matthew House from Ottawa, Le Gitami, and Moisson Outaouais from Gatineau, whose tireless efforts have made a major impact in their community. Led by church representatives, this event is but one of many that started in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and will travel all the way to Western Canada.
So I'm with the Ottawa Food Bank. I'm the Community Engagement and Events Coordinator there. And what the Ottawa Food Bank does here in Ottawa is we service 37,524 individuals who are food insecure here in Ottawa. So we provide this as emergency food every single month. 36% of those people that we serve every month are actually children. So donations like the $1,000 that we are receiving today from Mr. Eduardo Ivanala and the FYM Foundation is going to go very far.
Our organization is Matthew House, Ottawa. We are a refugee serving organization. We have two departments. We have the refugee house, which is the shelter. We also have a furniture bank, which gives furniture to the people on and around Ottawa who are moving out of homelessness and they have a new house and they don't have furniture. So we provide a shelter for the homeless who are refugee claimants, newly arrived refugee claimants, and we also provide furniture for anyone who needs it in and around Ottawa.
So how does an event like this help your community and help the community altogether?
An event like this is very important to the community as it reaches out to those in need and provides for those in need. I find it's very gracious and very important part of community building and community settlement for those who are newly arrived, for example, like the people I serve. I'd like to thank him very much for all this gracious giving to the community and for the love and care for the community, for humanity. I believe it goes very far.
Well, I think it's key to say thank you to the church administration and to really say to Brother Eduardo that we are thankful for the efforts of the church. we're thankful for all the work that they're doing in poverty reduction. And cities notice that. The people in the cities notice that and are appreciative. So we're highly appreciative of the efforts of the church, and we thank them for working on poverty reduction with us, and we're thankful for what they're doing in terms of their charitable contribution to the city.
I think it's a great initiative, reaching out to the shelters and the different services, and both through cash donations and also, bags of goods and accessories for people. I think, dealing with problems like this is people to people, and that's how you do it, I think.
The Government of Canada's commitment to reduce poverty by 20% in 2020 and 50% by 2030, laid out in their Poverty Reduction Report, is an important measure for the City of Ottawa, and organizations like the Church of Christ and the FYM Foundation will continue to help and do their part both here in Canada and on a global scale.
Well, it's something that I want to get involved in permanently. I like the humanity, the way they help people, and I'm not fortunate myself, so I like the way that they're looking after us.
One of my friends brought me here to see what it was about, what it was like, and he told me that you guys have an offering to give to people as well. I think that the scope of what you guys do on a world platter, on the world there, was very interesting, because I don't see people actually making things like a village entirely and a whole community. And
reporting from the Aid for Humanity event here in Ottawa, Canada, for Eagle News, I'm Sabir Mufti, 1 with 25.
Salamat, Sabir. Sa pagbabalik ng Agila Balita, Washington, D.C., Filipino developers pinakilala ang indie game sa PAX East sa Boston. Musical na On This Side of the World, kinuwento ang pakikibaka at pagbawagi ng Asian Americans sa Amerika. At sa pagtatapos ng National Heritage Month, nagdiwang ang Centro Rizal, Washington, D.C. sa pamamagitan ng tugtuging katutubo.
Agila Balita.
Para sa mga viewers namin sa Middle East at North Africa via OSN, hello sa inyong lahat dyan! Ako po si Alma Angeles at araw-araw tayong magkasama sa Eagle News International. Dito tayo sa Net25 at OSN, siguradong at home ka dito.
Landmarks, Linggo, alas 6 hanggang alas 7 ng gabi.
Agila Balita.
Ito ang Agila Balita, Washington, D.C. Dumako tayo sa Boston, saan binigyan ng entablado ng PAX East 2019 ang developers ng tinatawag na indie games o mga bago at hindi pa gaano kilalang mga laro sa mobile devices. Kabilang sa kanila ang dalawang Filipino na sina Thea Morrison at Barry Silvestre ng Keyboard Games. Narito si Agila reporter Joan Blanco Soriano.
Gaming conventions are a way for both well-known and indie developers to showcase their up-and-coming games. I'm here in PAX East in Boston with Thea and Barry to tell us more. Okay, so can you tell us about what game you have here today?
Today we have Jackaxe. It's inspired by a Filipino and Nordic mix. That's the culture that we have in the game. Why Filipino? Because we're Filipino, and Nordic because you don't have the poster, but she maneuvers with an axe. So it's kind of like Thor, and we thought that it would be a good mix of cultures, and also because, I'm Swedish.
Tell us about some hidden things you put in the games.
One of the example is we put in Tagalog words, like in this line of dialogue, we mentioned, let's play Taguan again, and we try to explain what's Taguan. So it's I hide and you will never find me, or it's I hide and seek you. And we also have inspirations for the levels based on Philippine provinces. So we have Cordillera regions, Porac, Pampanga, and Siquijor. So those are the influence of the Philippines in the game.
You said you have another game that you're showcasing here today.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So in addition, we're also granted by Nintendo to become a publisher for Nintendo Switch. So now we are showcasing, we are about to release 4 games this year. And one of those games is a game made by Filipino developers from Naga. So they are Drick Studios, headed by Justin Villegas. And it's a tactical RPG mixed with card game. Very story-driven, lots of characters, and it's also in 3D, so it's very impressive for Filipinos to be able to deliver such a game and in a device by Nintendo. So besides those 2 games, we also have 2 other games set for release this year. It's High Noon Revolver with co-op gameplay. It's an action roguelike platformer. Nintendo Switch comes with 2 Joy-Cons, so it's ready for 2-player gaming. This is another game which I made. It's Tower Fortress. The port on Switch is different because it has 2-player mode now, and it also has state mode, so you can play the game vertically. So we mostly make games based on the games we played as a kid.
Nostalgic games.
Yeah.
So we're trying to target the nostalgic feel in games because, I don't know, it's really close to people's hearts. It's close to mine. I was a Nintendo kid.
We do games that we love to play, and we're gamers since kids.
It's just very cool that as a Filipino, we're now also going to make games for Nintendo. It's just really cool.
So when will the games be coming out?
Jack Axe and Grand Guilds will be out by the 3rd quarter of 2019 on Switch and Steam.
As we can see, Filipino gaming developers are starting to make their mark on a broader audience. Reporting from PAX East in Boston, this is Joanne Soriano, 1 with 25.
Mula sa entablado ng mga laro, dumako tayo sa entablado ng mga tagapagtanghal. Sa New York, kinapanayam ni Agila reporter Jennifer Polintan ang may akda at mga tauhan ng musical na On This Side of the World. Kwento ng pakikibaka at pagwawagi ng Asian Americans dito sa Estados Unidos. Panoorin natin.
As we take a walk down Broadway and go to Tribeca, New York, we find ourselves at Access Theater, where the production entitled On This Side of the World is being showcased to coincide with the celebration of Asian American Heritage Month. Composer Paulo Queitirol tells us what the show is about.
On the Side of the World is a collection of songs inspired by the Filipino immigrant experience in the United States. There are so many different stories and so many feelings and so many characters that there is at least one character who you're going to be able to relate to in the show. One thing I'm really proud of with On the Side of the World is that we really have a multinational team behind it. It's a very, very diverse team. Our cast is 5 Filipino Americans, 1 Asian American, which is part of the vision because I really want the piece not only to serve the Filipino American actor community, but the Asian American actor community in general.
What's great about what Paulo writes is that he really writes a human crossroads. So each of these songs, each of these characters are talking about a crossroads in their life. So even if you're not an immigrant, you can relate to it as a human being.
Everyone who comes to America or anywhere else, no matter what our origins are, we all have very similar journeys. And I think that when Diane was talking about this is a very human story, I think that we all can relate to love, despair, hardships, all those different adversities. And I think it's something really wonderful because anybody can walk into this theater and see this show and connect to it and realize that there are so many similarities and find humanity in that.
You know, whether you're Filipino or not, I think it's about risk and sacrifice. And everybody, regardless of where you come from, has had to take a risk or sacrifice for themselves or for others.
This kind of art is what the world needs right now. Listen to the text. It's sometimes the words can cut like a knife because it's this truth there that exists is stuff that is hard to talk about.
He brings to life what we experience with our families and our friends. He brings it to life on stage. He's adding to the voice of what America looks like now. Because America, it's not what it looked like 50 years ago, 40 years ago, 20 years ago. This is America now, and we are American voices adding to this. Filipino American voices, Chinese American voices, immigrant voices adding to it.
Right.
That's what's incredible about this piece.
I think also, you know, it's a Heritage Month, but it's May 2019, right? This is the time the world is talking about what it means to accept immigrants or not accept immigrants, or what it means to be an immigrant or a refugee. And these are universal questions that Powell has written about in a really real way. Like, what is home? What is identity? What is like a human worth? And I think it's amazing to be doing these and taking just like a really radical view, which is just put the humans on the stage, let them tell their stories. And I think that that's just so powerful.
Literally, like, this is the kind of stuff that changes the world. Like, and as artists, this is what I get excited about, because this is what you can make an impact and contribute something that's going to be positive towards a solution to the issues that we have in our world today.
As the show ends, the audience rises for a standing ovation, and many are reflecting on the powerful and poignant messages they heard through music and song. Though the sold-out and critically acclaimed show has ended its limited engagement, there are future hopes for its return. From Tribeca, New York, I'm Jennifer Polantan, 1 with 25.
Salamat, Jennifer. Usapang kultura pa rin. Sa pagtatapos ng National Heritage Month, nagtanghal ang Centro Rizal, Washington, D.C. ng Embahada ng Pilipinas ng musika ni Waway Linsahay Saway ng tribo ng Talaandig ng Bukidnon. Nagtanghal si Waway ng mga tugtuging katutubo at ipinakilala ang kanyang tribo at ang Talaandig Tribe Band bilang mga bantay ng Kitanglad Rainforest ng Bukidnon. Ani Waway, ang pag-aalaga sa mauling gubat ay mahalaga sa ikabubuhay ng mga katutubo. Anya, kung ang gubat ay mapipinsala, ang inspirasyon ng musikang katutubo ay mapipinsala rin. Layo ng pagdiriwang na ito na ipaunawa sa mga Filipino na sa Pilipinas manawala ang kahalagahan ng pagpamana ng pambansang pagkakakilanlan. Yan ang Agila Balita, Washington, D.C. para sa linggong ito. Samahan niyo kaming muli sa Lunes para sa mga balita mula sa aming bureaus sa buong mundo. Bisitahin niyo rin kami sa aming website, eaglenews.ph, eaglenews.net at eaglenewslive.com. Salamat sa panonood. Ako si Myla Simbulan, always 1 with 25.
Sumainyo ang mga balitang kinarap, maingat na isinulat at inihanay ng Eagle News Service. Agila Balita!
Celebrating its golden